What's going on, guys? It's Ben Runyan again here for AudioSkills.com. This week, we're going to do part 2 of my EQ series, but more importantly that we're going to tackle mixing this small little track from beginning to end, including thoughts about dimension in production, thoughts about EQ, and thoughts about compression. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I have a track here in Ableton Live right now, and again, the DAW really, or the digital audio workstation I'm using really isn't the main focus of this conversation. More again, EQing, mixing a track from start to finish, gain structure, compression as a whole, the entirety of a conversation with this particular track. So let me just play you a little bit of it. I've grouped things into vocals, and I've got some synths here that I'm going to group together. Side note, cool thing about Ableton 10 is you can group groups. So not only can I put in groups and do, let's see here, melodies, but then if I wanted to, I could even group those and just call it the whole track. But for right now, I'm just gonna, call it what it is. So I've got the bass zone, vocals, and melodies. So real quick, I'm gonna label things in the interest of having some good workflow, or rather color things. And I'm gonna color them based on, let's just say the most hot, second hottest, and then not as hot in terms of a dB intensity, in terms of where a lot of my EQing is going to be done in the bass range to give the room, give some room for the mix. So let's go ahead and just play this real quick, and you'll see how not mixed this is, and then how much it's going to pop once we're done doing it. So I'm just going to work pretty fast and kind of make some notes as I go along. Any questions you have along the way, if you're not catching up with me, go ahead and throw those in the comment section for me. First of all, not a lot of pop out of these guys. I'm going to use a great new Ableton plugin in Ableton 10 called Drum Bus. So listen to what it does. It's a compressor and an exciter. I'm going to use a high shelf. I'm using the high shelf to get some nice crisp of this sound. All right, feeling good about that. I'm gonna go ahead and solo that with the bass. Okay. I'm gonna use the glue compressor in Ableton. I'm gonna compress the bass. I'm going to sidechain the bass from the kick because they're both occupying a very similar frequency range, and I want the bass to move out of the way. So I'm using the kick, sidechaining it into the bass line, and then I'm going to watch some movement happen here. All right, great. I'm even going to try to use the drum bus on the sound, see if I can get some more grit out of it. As I'm doing that, I hear some of the lower frequencies that are problematic given where the kick is at. Hear that? Total overlap between the bass and the kick. Great, freedom for the bass, and I'm going to give a little bit of boosts in the kick around that same frequency range. And I'm going to take a little bit out at the bottom. Okay, those guys are sitting pretty well together. I'm going to move on. Melodies. I want a little bit of reverb out of this melody. I think it needs some compression to bring that sound up. Okay. Still want a little bit more out of that melody. Hear that nice ring out of that sound? I want that to cut through the mix. So, on and off. I think I want even a little bit more. Hear that nice tone? It's a nice ringing tones, crisps punching through the mix. Feeling good about that. All right, now the vocals. Compression. All right, I want some reverb and I might filter it. So crazy long decay time, turning down my dry wet. All right. That's sitting pretty. Check out my gain. Not too bad. I'm going to throw some stuff on the master here now. I'm going to go ahead and do Multiband Dynamics and a limiter. And on the mix as a whole. Bad stuff right there. Little pop there. And everything below low cut. I'm going to do 96 decibels. I'm going to come up to 30. And I'm going to give it some filter automation. And as I'm listening here, I can hear that this bass line still needs a little bit of attention on those low ends. Pretty much when I sit in front of a mix, that's what I'm doing. So what was I doing there? Few key factors. Number one, A and Bing. Taking one element, does it sound good? Great. Adding in another element. Do these two elements sound good together? Great. Now I fixed that. Do 1, 2, and 3 now fit together? Great. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, do they fit together? Great. Now, when I'm asking if they fit together great, I'm asking in terms of number one, in terms of the sonic range. Are they sharing the same frequency range in the frequency spectrum? Should I cut one of them to make room for the other, or boost the other, or both? Number two, where are they dimensionally? Is my element in the front of the mix, the middle of the mix, and the back? Are they all occupying the front, middle, or back? Should I push one back? Am I going to use reverb? Am I going to have that reverb be bright so it sounds present? Am I going to have that reverb be dull so it sounds further away? As I A and B, and A, B, C, D, E, and F, each one of these elements slowly, I'm taking into those consideration all those factors: frequency range, dimension, panning, things like that. Then I'm also keeping an eye on my master channel as I do this to make sure I have 3 to 6 dBs of headroom before I'm adding stuff to the master. And then I'm using something like a multiband compressor and an EQ to shape the sound, and finally a limiter so it can't go past 0. But I'm not pushing hard against that limiter. I'm using that as a fail-safe, not as a wall that I can smash my mix into. That's been another video for AudioSkills.com. If you have any questions for me, please do reference the first video in this EQ series, and then watch this video in that order preferably. If you have any questions for me, saw some things that I did that I didn't explain, please go ahead and ask me in the comments section. Stay tuned to AudioSkills YouTube. Stay tuned to AudioSkills.com and check me out at Ben Runyan, BenRunyan.com for more info on me. Take care. Talk soon.